Hey guys, what's going on? Draax here, and welcome back to another episode of Learning Modded Minecraft. Today we are going to cover thermal expansion and kind of the mods that go along with that. We're also going to cover another mod that I had added, and we're going to pick up on some things that I had actually forgot in the first one. This is likely to happen only because there's so much for me to cover, and sometimes you know, if I miss something in one, it wasn't necessarily pertained to that particular episode, so we're going to kind of jump into it today. So first things first is I want to make some machines from thermal expansion. Now we can scroll through here and we can find the machines. These are the casings. Aha, these are the machines. I want to make a redstone furnace and a pulverizer, because what these allow me to do, the furnace just acts like a regular furnace, but the pulverizer will actually break down the ores into 2 dust. And for each dust, you get an ingot. So instead of just smelting, say, an iron ore and getting 1 iron ingot, you can pulverize that iron ore, get 2 iron dust, then smelt those for 2 iron ingots. So it's a good way to double your ores in the early game. So what I need to do is... these machines, unfortunately, take power. So I'm going to need to make something to run those and, you know, do some power off of them. So I could look through here and see what I want to find, which is right here. It's these dynamos. But I'm gonna use this little function down here. This is the NEI, not enough items, search box. And if I left click in it once, I can just type in dynamo. And it's going to show me all the items with the word dynamo in them, which is really cool. Hey, spider, get out of here. You're interrupting my show, man. So there we go. We can see all the dynamos. We get a steam, a magmatic, a compression, reactant, and innervation. Now, these particular items have a tooltip associated with them that says hold shift for details. And you can see on the steam one, it just says generates energy, redstone flux, requires water and a solid fuel. Magmatic requires hot fluids, requires fluid fuel and coolant, fluid fuel and solid reactant, and extracts flux from various objects. I haven't used this one yet, but we're going to stick with a steam dynamo. That's kind of the lower tier. And again, if you right click on or left click on that, you will see the recipe, or if I hit R, you'll see the recipe. So we can see that it's going to require some copper. It's actually going to take some copper gears, and it's going to take some copper ingots, and then this redstone transmission coil, which is a piece of silver, and some redstone. So I'm going to need 4 copper for each one of these, and I'm going to need, so 8, 9, 10, 11 copper, and 1 silver. So I've got a bunch of copper in here. I did some mining. This is all legit. Let me get 11 copper. And then we'll need 1 silver. So, okay, this is another thing. I'm going to sort my chest, if you guys remember, with the button right up here. Sorts everything out for me. But here's another function of this search bar. If I double click, left click on this, it turns gold. And what I can do actually is I can type an item that I'm looking for. So I'm looking for silver. If I type in silver, it's going to highlight that silver. And if I want to clear that, I can just, you know, double click on it again. But yeah, we're gonna go back to dynamo. That's a nice little function. It's really nice when you're, you know, trying to find stuff and you're just having a heck of a time. And then we're gonna need 2 iron as well. So I'm going to smelt these up. I'm going to grab some fluid or some fuel here. And I'm only going to smelt up what I need at this point because I want to be as efficient as possible. So I want to smelt up, you know, just the amount I need, and then hopefully I can start to use that pulverizer and start to double my ores right away. So I'm going to smelt these up. We'll come back and we'll craft this item. All right, so I've got all the items I'm going to need crafted up, and we're gonna use NEI the way it's supposed to be used. I know I showed it a little bit in the first episode, but you know, this is actually in practice. So I'm going to hit R on this item, and then we can shift click on this, shift left click, nothing goes in there. And that's because I don't have the items required. So if I go to the copper gear and I shift right click this question mark, it puts as many as in there that I have items for. So I can just click those, take those out. We're going to go back. We're going to do the redstone transmission coil the same way. And then now I should be able to craft that just like so. All right, so we have a steam dynamo. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So one thing about the steam dynamo is that it needs water. It will also need a fuel. So we kind of have to have some coal, and I do have quite a bit of coal here. And I also am going to need a bucket. Do I have a bucket? No, I sure don't. All right, so we're going to go ahead. I'm going to craft up a bucket here, just smelt up the amount of iron that I need. But yeah, I'm going to just place this here, and if we look at it, it's kind of a cool texture. If I right click, you're going to see two sides. You're going to see a side over here and a side over here. Now these are usually a fluid type in Minecraft. This one is most likely going to be water. Here's where your solid fuel goes. This is the amount of energy that you've created. So we have 0 out of 40,000. And this will probably be the steam, because this is a steam dynamo. This is going to take steam. So I'm going to put my my coal in there right now. And then I'm going to grab these. I'm going to make our bucket. And I'm going to just come over here to this water and click on that. And it starts working right away. Okay, so I had it backwards. Your water is over here and your steam is over here. So you can see that our water is going down. Our energy is going up. It's burning through fuel just like you would see with a regular furnace. And we have all the steam built up. So there's actually a couple of tabs with thermal expansion that you're going to see, and they just kind of go around on different sides. So this one will tell you how much power is being generated at this particular time. And if I click on it, I can expand it. It says power output, maximum hour power output, and energy stored. Now you're going to see as energy stored goes up, power output goes down, because these machines are somewhat smart in the fact that they produce less power when less power needs to be produced. So we're getting full, so it's powering back, right? But if I hooked up a machine to this, it would be running full blast. So this will probably tick down to probably about 1 RF per tick, 2 RF per tick. I'm not sure what the lowest is, but it will until it fills up. So we also have an information tab that tells us kind of what the item does. It generates a redstone flux using steam. Solid fuels and water can be used to generate steam as well. And then we just generation rates according to energy demand, like we just said. So we're actually full up. So 8 RF per tick is the bottom out. So it's still going to use 8 RF per tick even though we don't have an energy command. Or demand, sorry. Tutorial. The augment tab allows for modular additions. Redstone control tab, configure this to how the device acts to redstone. So we have an augmentation tab where we can actually put different things in here and kind of adjust the way that it works, but we're not going to get into those until later on in the series, so don't worry about that just yet. But we do have a redstone control. So there's actually ways, I think you can put like a comparator on here, and when the thing gets full of energy, you can have it shut off, and there's some different things you can do with that. But again, we'll get into that later. We need to just focus on what we have here. So I'm going to go ahead and sleep. I'm going to get the supplies ready for the pulverizer, come back, craft that up, and show you guys how it works. All right, welcome back. So we're going to make a pulverizer. Now these machines are kind of different. So you're going to see when I open this up, you're going to notice that block there in the middle is actually changing. So that kind of tells you that there's different variations of that block that we can use. Now we're going to see if I click on that, it's crafted from another one. If I click on the one in the middle, it's crafted from another one and another one until we get to the bottom. Now for now, I'm going to use the lowest one, which is a machine frame basic. Now, all this means is that I cannot upgrade this machine right away. I'll be able to do it later if I want to, but for now, I'm just going to use the basic because that's all I really need. And you know something I forgot? I forgot some sand, so I'm going to need to make a shovel here real quick. Bum, bada, bum. And grab some sand. All right, so I can go ahead again. We're going to go back to this, I'm going to craft this guy up. We got a machine frame basic, and I'm going to need to make these couple of copper gears like we did last time, and I'm going to make a piston. And then I should be able to just, I need to make the reception coil. And then there we go. Pulverizer. All right, so we're going to take that pulverizer, we're going to stick it next to this. Now, normally, this is how I would do it. I would place my machine down first, then place this next to it, because this will face the side that it needs for the machine. But since we place this first and we have energy in it, I'm just going to place the pulverizer on top. And then, it'll start to drain its energy through once there's a requirement. So a couple of different things you're going to see, and it's probably kind of intimidating right off the bat. But hey, it's okay. Actually, why is that not... Oh, because you have to start generating. Oh, we're out of water. Okay. So when it's generating power is when it can move power. So that's one thing to keep in mind. It's now draining the power, and it's also generating, so you'll see this bar fill up. This is the internal buffer of the pulverizer for its energy. This blue slot right here, this is an input. This is this red slot here is an output, and this yellow slot is a secondary output. So if I actually I'm going to take our iron, and I'm going to put a piece of iron in there. It goes through, and we got 2 pulverized iron. So I'm going to go ahead and just do all of those right there. And I'm going to take this 2 iron and just throw it in a furnace. And you can see, once it goes through its little cycle, see, over here we have a secondary output. So when you're using a pulverizer, an ore has an opportunity to put out a secondary output, whether that be iron or ferrous or gold, or there's a bunch of different ones that give different secondary outputs. But yeah, we got 2 iron out of that 2 iron dust. So it's a great way to extend your ores early on. It's really, really nice, especially for early game, in my opinion. I'm actually going to go ahead and put a chunk of this coal in there to keep generating power. And it's just going away at it. It's just working its way through. This tab up here is actually a power usage. So on the dynamo, we had a power generation. This time we have a power usage. It's using 40 RF per tick. Maximum usage is 40 RF per tick. And we have 47,000 RF stored. Information tab smashes things into other things, useful for processing ores and converting items. Typically not reversible. So if we go back up here, it's now power usage 0 because it's not doing anything. Tutorial bar pretty much tells you, again, augmentations. This is, again, we'll get some into these later. And then redstone control, like I said before. Now, the configuration tab is really nice. So when we open this up, we're going to see the machine in a couple of different sides. So if we look around, it's got 2 red sides, or 3 red sides, a blue side, and I'm sure if we looked on the bottom, it would be a yellow side. So what these are, they correlate to the spots in here. So if the blue side goes to the blue slot, which is on top, so if I put a hopper on top of this, stuff would go into the blue side. Now if I had a pipe or something going out the left or right, or even the back, that would be the output. And then down below would be the secondary output. So you could split it up. You could have your primary outputs going one direction and your secondary outputs going another. Now, if we click on these, we can actually change them. So I just changed the right side of this machine to be a yellow output. Or click on it again, and you could see an orange output. Now, we didn't see orange before. We see orange now. Orange is going to accept both outputs. It's a combination of red and yellow. So if I just say I turn all these other ones off, we have orange. So this will actually send both yellow and red, both primary output and secondary output, to the same location, which is really nice. I thoroughly like that. But if we just keep clicking through, you can just kind of change it. So yeah, there's that. I'm going to, again, kind of pulverize up what we have, and then I think we're going to make that furnace and a couple of other items. So I'm going to go ahead and craft the furnace, and I'll bring you guys back. All right, I have my redstone furnace right here, but I have a problem. I only have one output. Like if I put this here, it doesn't get power. So what do I need to do? I need to create some way to transfer power between two machines from one input. Now, this is pretty easy. It's called energy. It's called energy pipes, maybe energy flux ducts. Flux duct. I forget what it's called. Yes, leadstone flux duct. Flux duct. That's hard to say. All right, so yeah, leadstone is by far the lowest tier. It's transfers redstone flux 200 RF per tick. And transfer amount is per connection. There's some higher tier ones like 800 RF, 8000 RF, 32,000 RF. So yeah, there's a lot of different ones in here for flux duct. But what we're going to focus on is just the leadstone flux duct. Flux duct. That is extremely hard to say. So I need to actually pulverize up some lead. This is going to be for the leadstone. As you can see, it's just 2 pieces of lead, a piece of glass, and some redstone. So once I get 2 pieces of lead here, there we go. That actually gave me 4 pieces. Oh, it must have just been glitched out. Okay, I was a little confused. So we've got our redstone and everything. We've got our glass. So we're just going to smelt up 2 here. Now, one other thing that I'm going to use for manipulating these machines is called a crescent hammer. And I'm just going to craft this up. I'm only going to craft 1. I don't need 15 of them. Sure, it's a wrench, but any tool is a hammer if you need one, right? Right. So I'm just going to shift right-click on this. Boop, and it gets picked up just like that. I don't have to break it with a pick, nothing like that. And it actually will keep the settings that I would have set if I had set anything in particular. So I'm going to take these out as well. And I'm going to do the same thing for that guy. Just, you know, it's picked up, ready to go. It will also rotate items. I forgot about that. But we got our leadstone here, so let's go ahead and make our leadstone. Here we go. Just like so. So yeah, now I can actually go ahead and I'm going to just place these like so. I'm going to put this one over here. See how it connected to the side because it had something to connect to. And then I'm going to put our pulverizer there and our redstone furnace there. All right, so it actually, when breaking it with the hammer, it actually keeps any configurations that we would have had. Otherwise, it would have broken them. So we do lose our water that we put in here, but we kept the energy. So I'm just going to fill this back up. One more. And then I'm going to grab some more coal for a fuel. Very nice. And so now we should see this getting energy and this getting energy. So one thing you got to kind of keep in mind is a balance. So each one of these machines, like this one, is creating 80 RF per tick. This one has a maximum power usage of 40 RF per tick, and this one has a maximum power usage of 20 RF per tick. So we have a overabundance now, which is good. That's what you want for the most part. You want to kind of keep it even, but having 80 to 60 is not bad. And this tree is getting awfully close to me. It's making me angry. So one thing that's really nice about, you know, having machines like this set up right next to each other is that they can feed into one another. So I'm going to take this one. I'm going to configure this side, which is the left side, which is attached to the pulverizer. I'm going to configure that for the blue, and then I'm going to just put the right as orange. So we'll be able to put in, take out, and I'm going to actually, let's craft up a chest. Let's do 2 chests. And I'm going to make a hopper out of one of these. Put a hopper there, and then where's the other chest? There it is. Just like so. And I'm going to grab our ores out of here. So now I'm actually going to be able to put our ores in here just like that. I should have probably put a chest on top of that too. But you'll see as it goes through, it's feeding in. The pulverizer's pulverizing, and it's actually going straight over here to the furnace. and then we're not even seeing it land in this spot. It's actually just heading right into here. So this is a great way to process your ores when you need to, and you just kind of throw them into one chest and they all end up into here. It's pretty nice, I gotta admit. So that's pretty much all we're going to cover for today. We've got our ore processing online, which is fantastic. We're going to be able to get into a lot of other stuff, which could be a lot of fun. Now, like I said, that's pretty much, you know, what we're going to cover. Next episode, I think we're going to get into some of the other machines, maybe into some higher power production stuff, and just see where it kind of leads us. So for now, my name is Draax. I'm going to let this stuff process up. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section down below, and I will try my best to answer them in the next episode. But like I said, guys, have a good one. Thanks for learning modded Minecraft.